Well, hi everybody. Good morning. Meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Wednesday morning. We are just after 7 o'clock. We're about an hour away from a high wind warning kicking in northern Nebraska. This will continue until 6 o'clock tonight. Usually as you get into the daytime hours and it starts to warm up, winds get stronger. Well, we've got very strong winds already. It's pretty blustery this morning, but they're going to get worse as we go through the day today. Peaking, usually when your peak temperature comes, not always, but usually when your peak temperature comes is when your highest winds are. So our strongest winds will probably be early afternoon. But we could see some wind gusts today in northern Nebraska as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour. And that's what's prompted this high wind warning issued by the National Weather Service offices in North Platte and Omaha. They issued this part right here, and then up into South Dakota, the offices up there in Rapid City, Aberdeen, and Sioux Falls. Now, most of the offices in our area do not issue high wind or wind advisories. Those are for wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. The Omaha National Weather Service still does, though, and so they have put out a wind advisory for their eastern areas there. I mentioned it, but the reason that they don't in these other offices is basically they decided there are too many days, especially in the fall and winter, where we get wind gusts over 45 miles per hour. They were getting to the point they were issuing wind advisories all the time, so they decided that they didn't need to. So several years ago, they got rid of the wind advisory. Well, other offices to our north and east still do issue those. So it's kind of it's an office by office decision. But I'll just mention that wind gusts, for most of us, we're going to see wind gusts up around 45 miles per hour today. Now, the strong winds are the big story of the day. We're also going to see that relative humidity drop as the day goes on. And so for many, get below 20%. Now, yes, we had some great rain back on Monday. In the areas out west that didn't have rain, well, the winds aren't going to be quite as strong here, so that's why they're not included. But even despite the wet ground, especially some of those typical drier grasses that don't tend to get as moist or absorb as much of that moisture after a good rain, there is going to be that threat for wildfire danger today, an increased threat out there. So because of that, the local National Weather Service offices across the state of Nebraska have issued a red flag warning for this afternoon. That'll go from noon until either 5 or 6 o'clock, depending on where you live. We are going to see a lot of wind today. Those winds are going to be strong, strengthening by the time we get towards the mid-morning hours and into the afternoon. Those winds will be peaking. We'll see gusts widespread 40 to 60 miles per hour, worse the farther north you go. A few clouds off to the northeast, but they will mostly just be a nuisance. All those clouds are going to stay to the northeast today. Winds will start to come down a little bit late this afternoon. They'll start to die off more tonight. Notice, though, eastern areas especially, they will not completely die down. It's still going to be a little bit breezy here. Winds will be much lighter out towards the west. It is going to be a colder night with the lighter winds, the clear skies. Tomorrow, still a little bit breezy over eastern areas, but the farther west you go, the lighter the winds will be. So winds they'll be under 10 miles per hour here throughout the day. In fact, they'll be really light by tomorrow afternoon right here. Still a little breezy, but these will be backing off then tomorrow night. Light winds, clear skies continue, so it's going to be another cold night Thursday night and a Friday morning. We start to see a few clouds enter the picture. Skies will become partly cloudy for many of us as we head into your day on Friday. Temperature-wise today, we're going to top out mid to upper 40s and low 50s. For most of us, this is actually pretty close to average for this time of the year. It'll be warmer the farther south you go. Heading into tonight, we'll dip back into the 20s for lows, some teens out west. And then as we look ahead to your day on Thursday, shot of some slightly cooler air in northeastern areas, struggling to 40. Around O'Neill, 42, Albion, Columbus. Mid-40s in the Tri-Cities area, upper 40s, and then low 50s as you go to the southwest, a little bit warmer yet into the panhandle of Nebraska. Back down into the 20s tomorrow night. And then as we look ahead to your day on Friday, slightly warmer temperatures. We're going to get these warmer temperatures moving in from the west. And in fact, look at western Nebraska. Nice Friday afternoon, shaping up low to mid-60s. Most of us into the 50s, low 50s around the Tri-Cities, still some upper 40s and even mid-40s as you go to the east. That colder air mass still being a little bit stubborn. It moves farther east on Saturday, so Saturday should be the peak day for most of us. Some upper 40s north east. Most of us will top out in the 50s. Husker game, mid-50s, a little breezy, a few clouds around. Could be still a couple of 60s out west here, but most of us will see 50s for highs on Saturday. We'll then start to trend downward into next week. Looking at that extended forecast again, you can see I pretty much explained it all already. Lots of wind today, still a touch breezy tomorrow, but nowhere near as bad as today. Lows down in the 20s the next couple of nights. A little cooler tomorrow, starting to warm up Friday. The warmest day will be Saturday. A little breezy over the weekend. Sunday, starting to cool down a little bit. And then Monday and Tuesday, temperatures start to trend lower. Now, Each one of those days I've included kind of a partly sunny, partly cloudy icon here, Friday through Tuesday. These 3 days it should stay dry though. But then Monday and Tuesday, it's a little up in the air. But right now it's a 10% or less chance of moisture. We'll keep an eye on things though. There are some hints of moisture in the forecast models, but not all of them are on board, and they've been very inconsistent. It's still 5+ days away, so I don't want to get into too many details yet, but we're going to show you those long-range models in just a bit. But it does also look like we will trend colder as we go through next week. In fact, it looks like it might even get colder yet by around Black Friday and the following days. It may get a little colder yet. There could be some Arctic air that kind of dives southeastward into our area. We'll keep an eye on that. North Platte, not quite as cold next week here. First off, next couple of days, close to 50 today, low 50s, not that chilly tomorrow, and the winds will be gone as well. And then Friday and Saturday look pretty good. Then we start to trend downward, but we're down into the low 40s by Monday and Tuesday. Lows most nights will be in the 20s, maybe not Saturday night there though. No moisture expected, but again, we'll keep an eye on Monday and Tuesday there. Still a little bit up in the air. Just like the Tri-Cities, North Platte will trend a little colder next week. Maybe not quite as cold as the Tri-Cities, but it does trend a little chillier. In fact, in the long extended outlook for the following week, this is basically Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving through the following Tuesday, December 3rd. The Climate Prediction Center is predicting that we will be looking at below average temperatures. I would agree with that 100%. They have backed off on the moisture a little bit, so they have us kind of that near average where we could go either way, a little bit above average out west. And I would agree with this. I'm kind of thinking, I'm a little iffy on these chances of moisture now down the road towards Thanksgiving, which is good news. We don't need snow right before Thanksgiving, but forecast models are still a little bit all over the place. So let's look at those. The European model, again, there's the snow off to our northeast today, that we have the strong winds because of that system. Basically what you have, real quick here, I'm going to go back into the start of that graphic here. What you have here is tight low pressure up here to the northeast and high pressure here, and there's a tight pressure gradient. That's why we have such strong winds today. But as that system starts to move to our east, you can see it, they're moving to our east. We'll back that up here. Tomorrow and Friday, the winds will start to back off a little bit. A few extra clouds around Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then here comes a slight chance of moisture early next week. This model's hinting at a little snow mainly out west on Monday, but this is why one of the reasons I've kept things dry for now in the forecast. Tuesday, we'll see, again, maybe northern Kansas. It's still a little up in the air. Down the road, Wednesday, Thursday, not much in the forecast models for us. Maybe by Friday or Saturday, we'll see. But there, right now, it's still keeping us dry. It's going to trend a little colder, though. The GFS model, there's the storm system to our northeast. Pretty quiet Friday, Saturday. A few more clouds around Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then see Monday here. This does hint at a little snow close to us, even on Sunday. And then Monday there, again, I'm just not confident enough to throw chances in quite yet, though. And then later in the week, again, this is different than the the European model. A little pre-Thanksgiving snow there Wednesday, and then Thursday maybe a little moisture around. We'll see. So this is a decent storm system impacting our area right around or just after Thanksgiving. But again, that's very different than the European model. There's no consistency, and so right now I'm just not confident enough to mention much for snow or rain yet. It's something we'll keep an eye on down the road. Temperature-wise, we're trending cooler today, but then we warm up a little bit Friday, and then Saturday it looks like a pretty good day. Then comes that cooler shot of air Sunday, and then even cooler yet, chillier Monday, Tuesday. What happens beyond that, still a little up in the air. In fact, the European model actually tries to warm us back up a little bit by Thanksgiving, Friday, and then Saturday, and that cold air kind of stays to our north. So that would mean maybe not quite as cold towards the end of next week. The GFS, though, is very different. Again, there's the cooler air today. Then we warm up a little bit Friday and more so on Saturday. Then there's that shot of some cooler air Sunday, colder yet Monday and Tuesday. But watch how, while it tries to warm up a little bit by the middle and end of the next week, that big shot of Arctic air is moving into our area as we get towards next weekend. That's kind of the big differences. So there's not a lot of consistency right now in the model. So really, when you look at those long-range forecasts right now, the next 4 or 5 days, pretty solid forecast right now. Not really too many question marks when it comes to the forecast between now and Saturday and Sunday here. But beyond Sunday, a lot of question marks from Monday onward. So take each forecast long range with a grain of salt this far out. Well, with that is all the information I have for today. I want to thank you all for watching on this Wednesday morning. I'll be back with you on Thursday where we'll be talking about a lot less wind across the area. Until then, don't get blown away. Otherwise, stay safe on those roads, especially around those trucks today. I'll talk to you all again on Thursday. Bye.